Welcome to the outpost. Welcome to the outpost. Welcome to the outpost. Welcome to the outpost. Welcome to the outpost.
Outpost. It makes you feel like you're in a sci-fi movie, doesn't it? It is home to anyone who lives in the area and paradise for all the new players in Rust, providing with protection, shops, drone deliveries and even barrels to farm for scrap and components. But 3 months in a row, this was my home too, but now it's time to move on. Together, we'll go out to explore the vast, cruel and harsh world of Rust, and there is no better way to do that than building a base near one of the many monuments that you can find across the map. But first, a big apology because there is no game sound at all. Right before the wipe, I installed an update for OBS, and in my defense, I had no idea that this update will mess up with some of the settings. But don't worry, it's still gonna be enjoyable. So, I log in, I check the map, and not very far away from me, I see the next new monument that I can explore, the abandoned supermarket. It was evening already, and I had no other option but to farm and build my starting base throughout the night. Mistake that hopefully I will not make it again, because I chose the wrong terrain where to build, and I didn't realize that until I had to expand. So after I find another place, I start building the Hermit, a base designed from dust. Meanwhile I'm trying to build and expand the base, I come across this guy, Monkey, who seems to be a nice guy. Then I get killed by another one, and I respawn not too far away because I didn't have the sleeping bag yet. So on my way back to the base, I come across a decaying one in which I found some leftovers. And you know what they say, some people's trash is other people's treasure. So why not salvage everything I can before other scavengers will find this place and take it all. But still, there was a problem. I need a sleeping bag. And so, I do my very first run at the supermarket, where of course, the almighty outpost is offering me again safe passage, and there I meet none other than Monkey, who's kind enough to let me leave. In the morning, I'm out again for another run at the supermarket, but I wasn't so lucky this time. So I decided to leave it for now, and instead I went back to that decaying base to salvage everything I can, including a tier 2 workbench and loads and loads of charcoal. I knew a few blueprints from my previous wipe, but I was still missing a very important one, the garage door. So after I make a few upgrades and expand the base, I'm out doing a few runs on the supermarket, but as you expect, I'm not the only one there. If I wanted to increase my chances to run this monument and come back with some loot, I needed better weapons. So after I farmed some road signs and crafted a revolver, I hit the jackpot. Pew pew pew! He's dead. I loot him and the recycler. I start running, then I was like, hang on a second, I didn't take the crossy. So I go back and I see a backpack too. My heart is racing, my hands are shaking, and I'm holding my breath while I was running all the way back to the base. And when I check the backpack, oh my god, 1000 scrap. That guy must be so mad. So the next thing I do to protect myself is to install the garage doors and to expand the base. Then I go out for another run, and this time I hear 2 guys running around, and I killed by mistake none other than Monkey. At the time I didn't realize it was him because I was focused more on the combat than checking their names, and before I had the chance to use the SAR, I'm dead. Few minutes later, I find him and I explain what happened, but he wasn't too happy about it. Probably because he got his ass kicked by a noob like me. Moving on, after a few more runs at the supermarket, it's time for the next phase of the wipe, doing some raids. And while I was farming some sulfur, I come across this base with the walls facing the wrong way around. I knew that the triangles one on the ground floor are honeycombs, but the walls on the first floor, there was a high chance that they were not. So, armed with a bunch of pickaxe, I make my way into a very large room filled with many boxes. Unfortunately, all of them had locks, so I had to break them one by one and keep an eye open for unwanted company. Now, keep in mind that I play on an official vanilla server, so the progress is a bit slow, especially for solo players. I'm telling you this because what you're about to see might be shocking for you as it was for me. So, in the first box, I found almost 16k metal, from which 8k was already smelted, enough to make some upgrades and keep the loot safe. The second box had a few things that I could recycle, the third box a few components, but the next box, dude, what the fuck? 1058 high quality metal. The only logical explanation I can think of, this guy is a top tier rank scavenger. And probably new to the game because he messed up with the walls. But for the first time since I play Rust, my base was almost full of high quality metal. Moving on this raid, after I blew up 3 doors, I find another door with some primitive weapons and some components to recycle. And after I pickaxe the door number 4, I find a TC filled with stone, more than enough to honeycomb the base. I'm very pleased about this raid, so why don't I look for another one? While I was scouting, I come across Monkey again, but this time he's the one who's shooting first. Totally understandable, except that he took all my stuff and didn't want to give it back unless I asked him to. Then, when I was checking a raided base, out of nowhere, he started to shout and to be very rude with me about being inside that base. So I knew exactly what to do. I found out where he lives, then I started to farm some sulfur. Lots of sulfur. And when I was ready, I blew up 3 doors only to find 2 garage doors. Because I was rushing, I didn't think it through, and I blew up the wrong garage door that was leading to the roof. Stubborn as I am, I blew up the other door, and behind it I found Jane, Monkey's partner, who was killed by their flame turret. And after I blew up another garage door, I had to stop because I was out of explosive, and God knows how many other doors were after that one. But still, this was a good wipe for me and I managed to explore another new monument. The only problem I have now is that I'm running low on small monuments and I'm gonna need some help to explore the bigger ones. So, Swippy, if you're still watching my videos, the offer is still on the table. I truly hope that we can play one wipe together. Now, I will end my wipe here. So, until next time, take care and be safe.